All right. Welcome to another episode of Connecting Politics. We're here with a special guest. Please introduce yourself by telling us your name, where you're currently located, and your favorite snack.
And my favorite snack. Okay. Uh, yeah, so my name's Vivek. I'm in Brooklyn, New York, Bushwick to be specific. And my favorite snack, I think it would be pizza probably.
You said
I love pizza.
pizza?
Yeah, I love pizza. Oh my God, I can eat
Uh,
pizza anytime. Yeah, yeah.
okay. I would consider that a meal, but
That's a
okay.
meal. Okay, so a snack. I always I always like something sweet with coffee in the morning, whether it's like some sort of Polish pastry my girlfriend gives me, or um, like banana bread or something like that. Yeah,
Nice, nice.
I'm a
What's
sweet
your
tooth.
fondest? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, the sweet tooth. What's your fondest memory from childhood?
Fondest memory from childhood. Hmm. So many. I think probably just times with my grandmother. She was my best friend, and I learned so much from her. And she was more than like a grandmother. She was like a teacher, and just yeah, I felt super connected with her my whole life. So she lived with us as I was a child, so I had so much time with her. And as I grew up, I really I realized how amazing that relationship was and how fortunate I was to have that. Um, and she just showered me for sure with love my whole life and always believed in me. I don't know if any person had believed in me more or believes in me more than her. So I feel really blessed to have had her in my life. Yeah.
Nice. And how do you think your childhood helped groom you into the person you are today?
Um, like I was really blessed. I feel always like super fortunate about my life. Like really had all the things that I needed, education wise, financially, support from family, all those things. Um, so I think I really had all the necessary things to have a good like childhood and set me up for good adulthood. I think the two things that probably set me up the best, I would say, is my family is like had very strong morals, so it forced me to sort of see things, um, like to treat people correctly and not to cheat or lie and things like that, which I think has played like a solid role in my life to this day. I try not to do any of those type of things. Not in I'm judging anyone for them, but it's like helped me really like live a certain way that I um, think is allowed me to connect with people and they can trust me. And I think trust is a super important thing in life, right? And then I think the second thing, it definitely came probably from my grandmother and my father, was to be curious, to like be open to learning, to ask questions, not to just sit by the status quo, but to like be thoughtful and considerate of like what is real and what's not. And I think that's been like a driving force in my life to this moment is continue to like be curious about what it means to exist, to what it means to anything in your life, why are you doing it, and continue to ask questions. So I think those things combined um, has made me able to like connect with people, and then as well like, just like understand why I'm doing certain things and to try to find my own passion.
Yeah. And what is something in your life that you're not willing to live without?
Um, I would say at this point, meditation. Yeah, I meditate every day. I think we sort of we're talking a little bit beforehand, but I meditate every day, and I meditate for about 2 hours every day. So,
Mm.
um, you know, there are rare occasions where I won't meditate for 2 hours, but almost never anymore do I not meditate daily. So, um, it's just, I always, I tell people, like, when I explain meditation, um, just like you brush your teeth for like proper oral hygiene, or just like you go to the gym, or exercise for good physical hygiene, I believe meditation is an important practice for good mental hygiene. And I think that's something that's is underappreciated, around the world, especially here in the West. And when you hear about all these stress and anxiety issues that are coming up here in America, like life expectancies for white males in America is actually going down. This is the first time in history since, I think, World War II, since we were in a major war, where this is actually occurring. And the U.S. is, I believe, the only industrial country in the world where this is occurring. And that's even when the U.S. is spending billions and billions, the most money per capita, on healthcare. And the major drivers for the decrease in life expectancy is suicide, alcohol addiction, and heroin addiction. And when you ask yourself, like, why would people do those things? Like, why would someone hurt themselves or kill themselves or get addicted to these substances to that extreme? You have to wonder why. And I believe it's because they're just so unhappy with their life. Then, ask yourself, like, why would they be unhappy? And it comes down to not having good care of your mental health. And there's a bunch of drivers for that. I could get into that at some other point. But to me, like, having good mental care for yourself is super important. And if you want to achieve certain goals in your life, you want to do great work, I believe, being at peace, being mentally calm is super important. So that's why it's super important for me. I'm trying to be someone who's a high performer doing good work. So if I don't feel like I'm mentally at peace, it's hard for me to do my best.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you do for self-care besides meditation?
Yeah, I do a bunch of things. I exercise every day. I usually try to exercise in the morning, even before meditation oftentimes, to get that sort of adrenaline high, that workout high, getting those chemicals sort of flowing in your body, to naturally feel good. Additionally, I take a cold shower every day. That also kicks off a bunch of different chemical reactions to make you to help you feel your best. And I try to take it easy. Like, I try to work hard. Every day I know precisely what I want to try to accomplish that day. And I've sort of measured out how long those projects are going to take. And I know how much time that I have allotted to get that work done. And I try to do my best to get that stuff done, but I don't try to overwork myself. Like, overworking yourself is just leading to where you always are feeling like you're not accomplishing enough in your life. And that's just you're feeding into a cycle of just bad habits and not feeling like you're at your best. And so I try to be reasonable about my expectations and don't focus on a single day or even a single week. I try to focus on the long term and having a long term picture and saying, hey, have I been consistent for a month? Have I been consistent for 3 months or 6 months? And if I can look back and earnestly say, like, yeah, I've been consistent, then it's okay if, like, I mess up one day and I'm not doing as much work as I had hoped. Because over the long term, I have been honestly consistent. I've tried to do the best things possible. And when I look at my to-do list and, most of my to-do list is accomplished, then I know that's a way for me to measure that I'm actually performing. And if it's not, and I'm adding things on the fly, then it's like an opportunity for me to reflect and say, hey, what part of my process can be improved to fix that? So those things combined, plus it's going to sound weird, or for some people it sounds weird, but I don't check the news too deeply. I try to keep myself generally off of social media. Those things, while important to I think stay abreast in certain things, I find it's an opportunity to really mess with your mental state. And I really believe there's only certain things I can change and impact in this world. And everything else is really not within my control. And I can choose to get stressed out and freak out about everything that's happening in the world, a lot of the negative things that are happening in the world, or I can choose to do the best I can in the areas that I am most able to impact and try to be a good human. And beyond that, it feels like a bit out of my control. So those are the main practices I would say to sort of stay mentally healthy.
Nice. And what motivates or excites you?
Finding mental peace, finding true like peace in my own life. Yeah, that's what excites me. I think of a quote from my teacher often. I always tell people this. It's something that goes along the lines with how can there be peace on earth if there's not peace within each of us? So start with peace within yourself first. And I always think that to myself. It's so right. It's like, for me, a little bit about my background, Mike. Like my family comes from a background of helping the poor. It was a big school in India, and we've been doing it for 25 years. So a lot of my life, I always thought myself like, okay, I'm going to be this big entrepreneur. I'm going to be successful, and I'm going to start this company, and I'm going to like make all this money, and then I'm going to like help the poor. And I'm going to do all these things to help the poor and help people disadvantaged and help the earth and all that thing. And then like as I started getting deep into my meditation practice, and in this particular quote like came to mind, it made me realize like, how can I go try to change the world if I'm just not at peace? Like if I like, there's never going to be peace on this planet if individuals are struggling and they're upset and they're in pain. And that starts with me. If I can't even do it for myself, then how can I do this for anyone else? Right. So that's what excites me every day, is to try to like work on my own peace and share that peace with as many people as possible, and try to be kind and generous as many people as possible. That's what I focus on. That's what makes me most excited. I'm definitely far from fully peaceful and fully generous and kind to people. I have my moments where I can be really, really challenging to work with and deal with, but I'm trying. I just try every day. That's my initiative. That's why I put in the time every day to meditate. It's my effort to try to be peaceful to myself and to everyone that I interact with. So.
Yeah. What do you do in your professional life, and how did you get there?
Yeah, so my professional life will definitely feel in line with what I've been saying, but I'm in the process of starting a wellness community and company, and it's called mindhomemyc.com. And basically right now it's me creating a lot of content related to meditation, holistic wellness, community, conscious capitalism, like anything that's trying to elevate people's mental and physical state so that they can be at their very best. And that manifests in writing, videos, and also audio content, primarily through a weekly meditation and introduction conversation related to meditation.
Yeah. What's the riskiest thing you've ever done in your professional life?
Riskiest thing I've ever done. Probably right now what I'm doing right now. It's quite a risky move. I don't have I don't have like a ton of background in holistic wellness and meditation. My background's more in business and technology. So sort of making this big switch is definitely risky financially and professionally. But I got kind of tired of the rat race of technology. I think technology is amazing. I think it's important in different ways. But I just like I get tired of checking out the next app or the next website or the next social network or whatever. I think that'll just be this endless cycle. And I sort of saw myself, and I didn't want to just be another tech guy chasing another dollar. And when I found this meditation practice that I've been really disciplined about, I saw an opportunity to explore the practice for myself and in doing so, sharing that information, that knowledge with others. And when I, shared earlier the statistic about, suicides and mental wellness issues, I mean, there's some crazy stats on stress and anxiety that are going around. Like, those are things that a ton of people are dealing with. Everyone's dealing with, and I just don't think people have tools or knowledge on how to address them. I think people think that stress and anxiety is normal and that like there's nothing that they can do about it. And I was one of those people, to be honest. That's what got me into meditation. About a year, it's been a little over a year now. I was at a really hot tech startup, and I was working 80-hour weeks, and I was super stressed out, and like totally unhappy. And then I did this meditation course, and it changed my life. I felt a degree of happiness I didn't even know existed. That wasn't even my goal, and it just by doing this practice, I felt it, and it was so obvious. And I was like, wow. I was like, others need to know about this, and others need to experience it. So I've been trying to focus, like I said before, I'm always thinking about myself, trying to focus on myself. And so what I always do is I try to share content that I learn from, and I share it. And if it resonates with others, amazing. And if not, it doesn't, So that's what I've been doing.
What's one thing, what's something that you want to learn, but you haven't gotten to yet?
I would say I'm actually trying to make music. This is a fun thing, like on the side. I haven't done too much of making music yet, but I would love to make a couple tracks and print them on a vinyl record. So I've been just like dipping my toes a little bit, but haven't had enough time to focus on it. That would probably be my one of the things I'm wanting to learn to do.
Nice. I'm trying to. I want to say I remember. I mean, years ago. This is like probably 10, 15 years ago. You started playing the guitar, right?
The guitar? Oh no, not the guitar. What was it? I think I was playing something else, but yeah, I've always like tried to dabble with music a little bit, but I never really got super big into anything. And so I listen to a lot of electronic music, and so I've just been wanting to make a record for a couple of my friends, and I thought it'd be fun. A lot of my friends are DJs, so I thought it'd be fun to make some music. So.
Nice. Oh, so the type of music is going to be electronic music?
Yeah, like there's like a genre of music called like deep house or like minimal techno and things like that. That's sort of the genre. It's not like this EDM stuff that you hear, like, that's a little cheesy. No, I mean, no offense to that, but it's definitely not my style. It's I would say a little slightly more artistic. Yeah.
Gotcha. Can you think of any advice that you would give your younger self?
Do a Vipassana course. I wish I'd done this earlier in my journey. Yeah, I think I like sort of stepped into myself, my confidence, my my peace towards myself and towards others that I never had before. So I thought I'd tell myself to do. I have a Vipassana meditation course.
Nice. And what's the best advice you've received?
Best advice I've received. Yeah, sorry. I know I sound like a broken record, but just focusing on yourself, focusing on, taking care of yourself. And I say that not to be. I just want to clarify that, like, I focus on myself, but not at the detriment of others. I'm very particular about that. It's like, I believe there's rules to this universe that perhaps we don't fully understand. And I believe that like the energy we put out into the world, like whether we realize it or not, comes back to us. So if you're selfishly trying to succeed and you're like polluting the world and you're hurting others along the way, like I don't believe that's going to be, very good for you long term. But if you're trying to, find peace within and you're trying to have success, and you're doing it in a sustainable and generous way, like I believe, that's perfect. That's totally perfectly fine. And like, you know, money's important. Success, to a degree is important, but not at the cost of others and other species in the planet and things like that.
Yeah. What has been the toughest thing you've had to tackle, and what helped you get through it?
Um, hmm. I would say the journey to this point it's been an up and down journey professionally. I've definitely had a decent amount of professional success in technology and the nonprofit world and some other things, but I never sort of had the success that I sort of envisioned for myself. And while I've worked super hard, I've worked really hard at it. For whatever reason, the cards just haven't fallen my way. And so I think just being at peace with where I am in this journey, has been a process to get there. And I think meditation, listening to these online uh, teachers that you often watch on YouTube or read in blog posts and things like that. Their knowledge or information has provided a lot of insight and made me feel like comforted that while in this day and age it feels like, oh, if you're not Forbes 30 under 30, or if you're not had like $1 million by 27 or something like that, like you're a failure. And I've taken a step back from that perspective. And I like I sort of mentioned before, it's like right now I'm just focused on being consistent long term and being regular. And I think the pieces will come together for me. I think a lot of that thought process is based on our parents' generation, where they often worked a job that they didn't really enjoy and weren't passionate about. And so they were like so looking forward to retirement at this certain age so that they could take off and enjoy their life. And my perspective now is more, I'm trying to enjoy life every day, whether it's I'm working or I'm not working. I'm trying to enjoy every day and trying to do stuff that I'm passionate about, that moves me. And if I'm doing that every day, I'd be happy to do that when I'm 90 or 100 or whatever age I am. I wouldn't care. And so for me, I'm less stressed about making it at some certain number and certain date. And I'm more focused on just trying to be here in this moment, enjoying what I do and doing things that make me happy, and trying to be available for my friends and family whenever I can be.
Yeah. You brought it up. So what makes you happy?
Yeah. So what makes me happy is, like I said, my practice, the piece that I find for my practice, and seeing my friends and family be happy and doing things that they're passionate about and them succeeding.
Right. All right. So a fun question in the mix. If you won the lottery tomorrow, I mean, I'm talking 500 to 700 or 900 million.
Okay. Wow. That's a big number.
Yeah. What would you do if you won the lottery tomorrow? What are some things you would do?
What were some things I'd do? I'd put like a little bit of money away, just a little bit, probably to, or not like a little bit, but like a little bit, like that's sort of ridiculous in certain context. So like I probably bet it's like that 500 million. I'd probably put like, I don't know, like $1 million or $2 million away, for myself, and make sure that I had a decently nice home, not something like fancy or anything, but a decently nice home, and and took care of all my debts, and then the rest of probably figure out a way to donate it, probably a lot to meditation practice I do, a lot to my family's foundation, and then I have like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I had lots of visions for how to make an impact on the world. So I would probably start really aggressively pursuing like those things, like super aggressively, like yeah.
Yeah.
I like as aggressively as Jeff Bezos is pursuing Amazon. I'll probably try to do the same for the nonprofit world, and somehow try to figure out how to like make that work.
Yeah, nice. Is there anything you haven't done yet or accomplished yet that you would regret if you never got to do or accomplish?
Yeah, like I said, I think a part of me, like even in this sort of peaceful state that I'm in, a bit of me feels like I want to find this professional success that I've worked really hard. And I mean, we've known each other for a while, Mike, and even when we first met, I was working on some entrepreneurial endeavors. So find that sort of maybe like mantle on your piece, mantle on your shelf or whatever is sort of my mindset. Like like I worked so hard all these years, and I just haven't like had. While I've had success, not to the degree that I feel like I'm capable of. Not to the degree that my family's investment in me, I feel it's like represents. So a part of me like feels a little bit down about that, but I'm not like I said, it doesn't keep me up at night. I sleep well. I feel very at peace with where things are, and I believe that the pieces will come together soon enough. And this has just been a journey of preparing me for what's comes in the future.
Yeah, nice. All right. So for our final question, how do you define success?
Being at peace with yourself, totally peace with yourself, and being a fully liberated human, like just being totally happy, and yeah, that's a true thing. I honestly believe that's a real thing. Well, I'm sure some people listening to this, that might not feel like possible, but as for somebody who dealt with a lot of self-confidence issues, anxiety issues, stress issues, this journey to this point, I've realized that's possible. It's like I feel like a night and day different human being, and every day as I sit down and meditate, I feel like that, and so that's what I'm trying to work towards is to remove all that anxiety and stress that's still bent up inside me, this anger that's bent up inside of me, and removing that. So that to me is it. If I do that in this lifetime and I don't get that entrepreneurial success, I'll still be happy in my mind. So.
Nice. Well, we connected, we politic, and we will definitely do this again in the near future. Probably a part 2 would be more focused on your meditation practice.
Cool.
Nice. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike.